All right, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Financial Charles back at it again with another video. And in this video, I wanted to talk about why paying off my car loan was the worst financial decision I've ever made in my life. And that's something that you're not going to hear very often because on YouTube, all the finance gurus, they're all going to tell you to get rid of bad debt. And they all consider auto loans and car loans as bad debt. So they encourage you to pay that off as soon as possible. So that's what I did. But I want to talk about why paying it off as soon as possible was actually one of the worst things I've ever done to my finances. And hopefully by the end of this video, I can convince you to maybe view things from my perspective, and maybe hopefully I could show you to view things in a different light. So just make sure before we get into this video to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and I'm not going to drag this intro further out any longer, so let's just get right into the video. So in July of 2020, I bought a Toyota Prius, and it cost me about $11,000, all right? And I had $11,000, but the thing is, I didn't want to spend all of my money on a car, right? Especially since cars depreciate over time. So what I did was I put down $3,000 as the down payment, and then I borrowed $8,000 at an interest rate of 5%. So that's the key thing right there. I had a 5% interest rate. Now, there are some people that are like, oh, 5%, that's way too high. You need to clear that up ASAP. But then there are other people that get car loans for 7%, 11%. And even the interest rate for some car loans get as high as a credit card loan where it's like 15%. It's crazy. And then obviously there are other people that qualify for 0% loans, 1% loans. That's great. That's great. I'm right there, right split in the middle, 5%, okay? So I got people in my right ear telling me to pay it off. I got people in my left ear telling me to hold on to it, okay? So traditionally, a lot of these finance gurus, they're going to consider a 5% loan as bad. That's a high interest rate. You want to clear it up as soon as possible. And they're not wrong in a world where cryptocurrency does not exist. But the problem is we do live in a world where cryptocurrencies exist. And if you stall and you procrastinate on teaching yourself about cryptocurrency, you're just missing out on so many opportunities. And let me tell you why clearing out my 5% interest rate was so bad, because in a world where cryptocurrencies exist, there are centralized platforms and decentralized platforms where you can lend and borrow cryptocurrencies. You can lend out your Bitcoin, you can lend out your Ethereum, and you can even lend out stable coins such as USD coin, USDC, USD Tether. You know what I'm saying? All these stable coins are pegged to the value of $1, all right? And if you lend them out, you earn interest. It's the exact same thing as a bank. But, if a bank, they're able to yield a 17% return on their money, they're going to keep 16.5% for themselves, and the other 0.5% they pay you as interest, okay? And banks weren't always like this. I remember back in 2018 and 2019, I used to have an American Express savings account, and even that interest rate wasn't even good. It was like 2%, it's still better than a 0.05% interest rate that they're paying now. But, in a world like that, yes, clear out the 5% interest rate. Clear it out. But if you go on Celsius right now and look at the rates that they're paying to borrow your USDCs, they're paying out 10% interest, okay? So let's say, boom, I took out an $8,000 loan at 5% for my car, all right? Why would I want to pay that? Why would I want to pay that off if I could just take that $8,000, put it in Celsius, and earn 10%? So the argument behind paying off your debt early is, the main arguments are peace of mind, lower monthly expenses, which is, that's all great. But what a lot of people fail to ask themselves is the opportunity cost. So sure, you're paying off, or all right, if you pay off the $8,000 instantly, you could kind of consider that as an instant 5% return. All right. But obviously a 5% return does not beat a 10% return. So if you could just borrow the $8,000 and earn 10% on it, that's so much better. That's like, you're borrowing at 5% so you can yield 10%. You're doubling it. So like whatever money you owe in interest, you're earning double that, okay? So why did I pay off my car loan? Why did I make the terrible decision to pay off my car loan? And the reason is because I wanted to see what peace of mind felt like, and it's really not all that, bro. If I can go back in time and re-borrow that $8,000 at 5%, I totally would, because, you know, Celsius is paying 10%. And then also, if you consider, like, what if you use that $8,000 to buy Bitcoin at $60,000 and it goes to $90,000? That $8,000 turns into $12,000. That's a 50% return. It's like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So basically, for my car loan, what I was doing was I was paying $240 a month for the car loan, and that includes, you know, the original $8,000 plus whatever interest I owed. $240 a month. So what my logic was, hey, if I just pay off this car loan now, I don't have to pay $240 a month anymore. And if you saw my video on how to live on $1,000 a month in the United States, you would see that my monthly budget ended up being about $1,200, okay? At the end of the month, I ended up spending about $1,200. So, and that was including the $240 a month I had to pay for my car payment. So now that I've completely eliminated that $240 a month expense forever, my $1,200 now goes down to me spending $960 a month to live in the United States, which that's a very impressive number. You know, people make videos about how they can retire in Thailand on $1,000 a month. So, like, the fact that I'm able to do that in the United States while earning a United States income, even though what I'm earning is just a little bit above minimum wage, it's still a lot when you consider the fact that I'm spending only 25% of everything that comes in, and then the other 75% is going straight to investments. I mean, it's not 25, 75 every single month, because for anyone that's ever kept track of a budget in their Excel sheet, you know that you're not going to spend exactly $960 a month every single month. There's going to be terrible things that happen to your car where you have to get it repaired, or there's going to be terrible things where gas prices go up, and, you know, monthly expenses fluctuate so much. So, and that's another reason why I wanted to pay off the car loan. I was like, you know, these monthly expenses are so uncertain. One thing that I can do for certain, though, is get rid of $240 a month of my living expenses. But obviously, looking back at it, the whole point of this video is to explain why that was the worst decision of my life. Because now, the opportunity cost is, sure, I don't have to pay 5% on $8,000, but I gave up the opportunity to earn 10% on the $8,000 that I borrowed. So in other words, once you pay off that 5% that you owe, I completely lost out on the opportunity of earning 5% on $8,000. That's such a terrible, terrible move. Oh. So lesson learned for me, if I can ever take out a loan at 5%, I'm not going to listen to anyone. People are going to tell you, oh, clear it, it's safer. No, it's not safer. And it did not give me peace of mind, because now, it really just made me more stressed, because now I realized that I'm missing out on a 5% return on $8,000, all because I wanted to get rid of a debt and decrease my monthly expenses. Perhaps if I was retiring within the next 5 years, yes, it would have been nice to clear off that debt, but there's a difference between good debt and bad debt, all right? Bad debt is a debt that your investments cannot outpace. A good debt is a debt that your investments do outpace, all right? My investments were hella outpacing my 5% interest loan. But, yeah, I mean, my paper hand itself just decided, this risk is too much for me. I don't want to carry this much debt. And honestly, I just have to learn to grow a pair of balls, bro. Like, an $8,000 debt is nothing, especially when in correlation to my current net worth, you know? Like, I think, you know, from this experience, I learned that every responsible portfolio must have debt, all right? If you do not have debt, if you just go complete Dave Ramsey mode and you just don't have debt, you're missing out on an opportunity to leverage your money. Like, sure, you can live with knowing, like, oh yeah, I don't owe anything to anyone. But for me, my brain just cannot help. Oh my God, hold on. I'm getting an Uber Eats order right now. Hold on. See, and that's another problem with me having to record these YouTube videos on the phone that I do Uber Eats on, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could do some, like, DoorDash ride-alongs or something. I'm probably going to do that in the future, but it's just hella fucking hard to do that when you're recording on the same phone that you're making money from Uber Eats. All right, anyway. If you go complete Dave Ramsey mode and you hold no debt, like, yes, of course you can live with a peace of mind knowing that you don't owe anything to anyone, but for me, it doesn't offer me peace of mind because I'm stressing out about how much money I just missed out on had I just kept the debt and earned interest on it, you know? And sure, what is 5% of 8,000? I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's something. It's something. If you never take out debt, you are just limiting yourself. You're limiting your earnings potential. You're limiting your portfolio's growth potential by not taking out debt, all right? Especially if you can take out a low interest debt, all right? So I know that I'm talking about cryptocurrencies, how, you know, Bitcoin returns an average of 150% a year. Stable coins are earning 10% right now. It seems like why would anyone want to go to the S&P 500 anymore? Why would anyone ever want to put their money in a VTI or VOO anymore? But even if you were to play it super safe like that and you wanted to settle for a 7% return every year through the S&P 500 or total stock market, it's still smart to keep a 5% loan, because if you're playing the long game and you're a long-term investor, the S&P 500 averages 7 to 10% a year, and that it's been doing that over the past 100 years. So if you could take out a 5% loan and earn 7% on the money that you borrowed, you're winning. You're earning more money than you have to pay out, all right? But a lot of, like, a mortgage, for example, a mortgage is only going to be like 3%, 3.5%. So that's why if you watch like the Money Guy show or something where not necessarily a beginner finance podcast, but I would say a more intermediate finance podcast where they go more in depth about certain details, they're going to tell you to keep the mortgage because the mortgage is good debt. It's 3.5%, and it's like you put down $50,000 to control an asset that's worth $500,000, and the interest rate is 3.5%. Don't pay off that mortgage. Keep the mortgage, invest all your money, and even if you were to invest it in the S&P 500, 7% return still is double the 3.5% that you have to pay on that mortgage, all right? And then, if you don't even put it in the S&P 500, put it into stable coins, lend it out for 10%, that's 3.5 times 2. That's a 3x. You're earning 3x more interest than what you owe. And then you can even put it into Bitcoin, watch Bitcoin double, and then the interest on that is earning 6%, which the interest alone from earning Bitcoin is double the mortgage. So, and that's assuming that Bitcoin stays 60,000 forever and ever, which is not going to. It's going to keep going up. So, lesson learned, just take out debt. Don't be scared of debt. There's good debt and bad debt. Bad debt, student loans and credit card loans. Student loans because college is a scam, and credit card loans because the interest rate is just super, super high, But anyway, I think that's all I had to say. This video was just all about why I think paying off my car loan was one of the worst decisions of my life. And if I could go back in time, I would just hold on to the car loan and continue to earn interest on it. But, at the end of the day, losing out on maybe a couple $1,000 is not too bad, especially considering that I have 75 more of those where that came from. So, yeah, I guess it's lessons learned, bro. Like, I'm only 21 years old, and you're supposed to make mistakes in order to grow, and you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. And each L that you take is actually a W, Like, you should strive to fail. You should strive to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you take 2 L's, that makes a W. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's losing is winning. Failing is succeeding. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. If you take anything from this video, take out debt. Take out debt. If it's less than 5%, if it's less than 5%, take out the debt and invest. That's all I had to say. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. For more, I'm just going to try to keep on grinding these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and that's it for this video.